Oh, not many graphics on this one. Welcome to the show, everyone. We're going to take a look at a few things today. We're going to take a look at clones, M10 earthquake in New York, New York nuclear drills, and the body electric. So this should be fun. Let's get right into it. We've got about a 17-minute video we'll be commenting through. But here it goes. Hold on. Give it another minute. All right, share the screen. Is that Liam Neeson? Fidel Castro? I don't know this guy's name. I'm not very familiar with all the new stars, so this is if you guys know their names, you'll have to tell me. But yeah, looking at these pictures, it's pretty cool. It's fun, and there's some things we have a little bit of a different perspective on. So.
That is the celebrity clone thing. It's much worse than you can possibly imagine. It's way beyond doppelgangers. It's like that movie Oblivion, where this pyramid ship drops off clones and then divides everybody into 15-minute districts as they spray us like bugs and terraform the planet and essentially poison the food, the air, the water, surround us with death towers. That's basically what's going on. And the evidence here of
My wife's asking me if I want to drink. It's too early. Yeah, so Ellen DeGeneres there. I'm sorry, I think I had myself muted. I love this one, the Ellen DeGeneres with the beard. You know, it's really not that surprising, is it? I don't know. Where is she now, anyway? Where did she go? Hi, Mr. Mission. Good to see you. Let's go on. Let's take a look at who else they got here. But we got a few images coming up that are kind of funny and can be looked at in a bunch of different ways. So
celebrity clones is just beyond.
I'm going to pause on some of them. I don't know who this kid is. That's pretty good likelihood. Pretty good likeness. That's uncanny. But that looks like a photo from a movie he did. Could be, maybe not.
There's
Leonardo DiCaprio. That one is not as convincing.
Something going on. People need to investigate this phenomenon as much as anything else. And it looks like these things.
You're having a small drink? I'm having coffee right now.
Greta Thunberg clones.
Oh, the Greta Thunberg one.
Not only
hilarious.
On TV.
Seems to be everywhere, yeah.
In real life, in your area. I've seen a Greta Thunberg clone and many other clones, to say the least.
Wow. I haven't.
At first, you might think it's doppelgangers, the gene pool, but there's something else going on because most of the common folk don't look like each other, and they don't look like the people that you see on television. Very few people do. Here we've got footage of what looks like a cell phone back in the 1950s.
Oh, I like that. John Travolta. I know that one. Does look very much like him.
These celebrity time traveling clones are basically another phenomenon all to itself.
Bobby. Are they aliens or not?
But the evidence
yeah.
is weirder.
Well, are they aliens or have they been around for a long time?
Neo, born on 9/11, predictive programming. And that's another thing, the predictive programming. What's going on?
It's a good question, though, Bobby.
And these death towers beaming us like the Starship Enterprise. The media is now saying they're going forward with clone factories. So now they're coming out with
the
evidence, if you will.
Clone factories are a good idea. for the internet. If our bodies were much more similar, then the packets would go through better, the data packets. But because we're all so dissimilar and different, it's complicated. Each node, being us, has to be analyzed individually, and proper amounts of packets have to be sent through that node. Otherwise, you can overload it.
Already knows this technology is here to stay, ladies and gentlemen, and soon everybody will be a clone, to say the least. Natural births will be a thing of the past, and this is just the tip of the iceberg.
Clones are much more
Check out
useful.
this footage of creepy Biden. He doesn't blink. We got other footage where creepy Biden is walking
That could
around
be
like
drugs.
a robot. It's robot Biden molesting little
And
kids.
that
on
also could be
television,
dementia,
basically imploding
but,
the country.
These
opening
people
the
do
borders.
employ life
These
extension
people don't pass the
technology,
Turing test. They don't pass the human test. And whatever this alien invasion is,
which can cause
it's basically
problems.
destroying the country and destroying the world.
Don't know who that girl is.
But it is going to bother you because you're human, and I was human. I am human still.
The fetus man.
What the was that? The video guys looking at me. These people are like, when I was human.
When I
Come
was
take
human.
your death facts. Let us spray you like bugs. Eat bugs. As they don't even blink on the television and as they implode the country. Ladies and gentlemen. And of course, if you talk about it, they come after you. There's this gang stalking phenomenon everywhere where clones or NPCs are basically chasing you wherever you go, peering through your window, basically. Here we're looking at video of a setup for directed energy weapon attacks. You see how this covert action is happening? They set these things up in the woods, outside, or they use death towers. They program them to kill people that basically are waking up. It's like being in the Matrix or worse. The software is real. These weapons are real. It's called solid state energy weapons. They no longer need these big weapons
Recently, there have been a lot of white vans around where I work doing strange things. There was 2 cable vans parked across at lunch a couple times. No cable box or installations there on a highway. And the other day was a funny one. It's probably nothing, but these workers took out sledgehammers, busted up a piece of the curb, and then moved on. I don't know what that was for, a make work program.
platforms. They can basically set up shop around you. And many people are experiencing this. It's part of the genocide program. You thought that was shocking. Just wait. Just check this out.
All right, now here's something I find very interesting.
What's going on with these?
Look at these people. They are glitching out. That's a glitch in the matrix there. Which matrix? Is it the clone matrix? Is that the reason they're glitching out? Could be. Could be they're augmented. Could be they're attacked. I suspect augmented humans, and the system is glitching out on them. I haven't seen this personally. I've had glitches in my matrix that didn't cause me to stop and stare like that, but caused me actually to shudder and shake. So this is something entirely different, right, from that. So what do we got going on here? Kind of a glitch? Do clones just glitch out like that, or do they just melt to the ground?
These people, it's like they're not even there. Of course, it kind of looks like they're NPCs. This might be NPC action, but it's everywhere. And this
dude looks straight up like a robot.
Fraction of what's out there. But look at these people.
Are they robots?
It's like they're robots.
Do they have,
it's like they're cyborgs. It's like they're clones already.
Do they already have robots of that caliber?
Instructions, following the program.
Are these the first tests of artificial intelligence being transferred?
Early organic robotoids or the cyborgs would blink like 1,000 times a minute, kind of like.
Yeah, how many times have they transferred consciousness? These people. I do suspect that is a technology they're using for life extension.
When your hard drive used to blink as it was accessing memory. These things have evolved over time, but organic robotoids have been on the radar since the 1970s. Who remembers Hillary Clinton collapsing, then going to the clone clinic and then coming back?
Maybe, Dean.
Basically, another one. And this happened to Jimmy Carter as well. This is some Jimmy Carter footage collapsing in the crowd during a marathon, and basically they bring that guy back to life. And, you know, the original George Bush as well basically had an incident. They brought him back to life. What's going on? Whatever it is, it's not human. Is it AI? Is it
good to see you, Dean?
Aliens? We don't really know. But there's a massive genocide program happening right now on
aliens, cyborgs, clones.
They're spraying us like bugs.
They're glitching out, whatever they are, right?
Water.
You know,
they're coming after people with death towers.
It's got to be an interaction of a system with
genocide. You want to check that out? That's on Amazon. Kindle version, paperback version. There's a PDF version on Patreon as well. Transhuman genocide. It goes over the scenario, the weapons, and how you can survive, not only through evasion and other strategies, but also military-grade shielding. You're going to need a safe room.
It's for you, Dean. Yeah.
Why are you going to need a safe room? Why are you going to need body armor? Because basically they're beaming people with death towers. And they're particularly going after Christians, purebloods, conservatives, and truthers.
And
of course these things shoot right through walls. They leave no holes. They make no sounds.
Mm-hmm.
It's all plausible deniability. And they take you out with climate change, heart attacks, strokes, or cancers. Many people have been taken out this way. There's a long list of activists, even recently before the pandemic and during the pandemic, David Dees, Dr. Zelenko, Z-Pack, Dr. Nowak, graphene razor blades.
I haven't heard of him before.
Rush Limbaugh.
Dr. Nowak.
So many more.
Hi, Dean.
And basically they make it look like cancer. They make it look like stroke, heart attack. But it's all done through these death towers.
How are you doing there?
Good morning, Max. How are you?
Doing great, thanks. Hi, Tanya. Good to see you. Yeah, so what do you think of the alien clone demon body possessed people?
I mean, I call it cyborg, but I still feel that they've been cloning for a long, long time. You know, I said something yesterday in Chuck's live, and it's been rolling around in my head ever since. And that is why were all the Tartarian buildings here, and yet we've got all these different histories, and even some of these indigenous folk have a history that doesn't include
a worldwide civilization. Yeah.
Yeah. It's a bloody interesting question to me.
Yeah.
Right?
Did they write all these histories for the times when they did those world fairs in the late 1800s, you know, where they introduced all these people that nobody had ever seen from all around the world? You know, all these cultures, new cultures.
And that's what I wonder, if they were all clones, just waiting to be loaded up with information.
Interesting. Yeah. That's an interesting idea. Yeah, I don't know how far cloning goes back. It looks like it goes back to Sumeria, but, you know, in modern days, you know, I would suspect probably 1800s. I bet we would have started trying it at least. But yeah, who knows how long, you know?
I mean, the thing is that we're just starting to see that technology's been here for a long, long time. And the technology that we got today, it's a lot of reversed engineering, but some of this older tech was actually built for the benefit of people.
Yes.
And so I've got to think to myself that cloning isn't something new. I think that it's something that we can look at as being an experiment, just like all the other bloody experiments, Max.
Well, it's pretty amazing. They announce cloning, and then instantly they immediately are able to create Dolly, right? The sheep clone.
Yes.
Right away. No problems. Just worked out. I mean, I don't know how many times they tried. I'm sure there was some failures in that, but you put a bunch of eggs and sperm in dish, and you clone them, and away you go. See what happens, right? It's really not that hard.
And the other thing that I often thought about this is were some of these cloning experiments not so good? Because you got people back in the day, you had those sort of like zoo scenes where people were displayed, and we had like the Hunchback of Notre Dame and so-called people. And to me, these are people that failed in an experiment. People with backward legs, different limb positions, and stuff like that. To me, is a failed cloning operation.
Yeah. In vitro cloning is child's play, really. In vivo isn't that hard either. If you just get the right sperm and egg, you can implant those.
Exactly. Yeah, I mean, you and I can already discuss this, and we already know some of the cloning methods they've used, and yet we're only, I feel, scraping the surface.
Oh yeah, we don't have millions of dollars and tons of research facilities and stuff.
Exactly.
But you and I could do cloning in the backyard. It's it's.
Well, I mean, I think I already do that in a way, Max, because I mean, I'm breeding my own seed, right?
Yeah. Well, I mean, we
so
could do biological beings. Like you could take a chicken egg and a different type of sperm and try and interject them together. You can do that with all kinds of things. Some of them might work, some of them won't. You never know what you're going to come up with. So,
exactly. Yeah, I mean, I used to think those little gargoyles that you see on the side of buildings and the old buildings and that. I used to think they were part of an experiment back then, something that happened in those times.
Yeah, could have been genetic mess ups. I think there's a lot of
fallen angels. Well, fallen angels, they could be genetic makeup, right?
Maybe. Yeah, I think there's a lot of genetically messed up people underground in bases. They present as aliens. Some of them apparently are augmented humans that have augmented themselves to a point where they can't even return to being human. That's not going to happen for them.
Well, I wonder at cryogenics. Some of these people might have put themselves on ice, hoping to be bloody, come out in the future.
Look at Walt Disney. Is he back already?
Well, there you go. That's another Max. Yeah.
They froze his head back in the 60s or something, 60s or 70s, and
yeah.
Who knows? But there are so many possibilities out there. Clones are definitely one of them. I don't know if aliens are a possibility. They could be. I'm not a big proponent of aliens, but
when you might have hit it on the head when you said, an alien look. These people that have been experimented on might even just look like an alien, but I mean that's what we've been scripted to believe what an alien looks like, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, what does an alien look like? We have an idea that was projected to us, right? We were told because they tell us what aliens look like, right? They put it in the movies, and know,
Yeah,
propaganda,
exactly. Mm,
right?
mm.
So we've been trained to figure, oh, gray skin, that's an alien. Must be an alien, right? Instead of thinking
Yeah,
maybe it's a human. Yeah. With the article Mr. Mission showed us the other day, they can um, evolutionarily progress 500 million years into the future and make a key for people to be fluorescent, and they found how to create that protein and put it in people. So you could have
right.
blood
Like to be a
people.
luminescent being.
Hmm?
To be a luminescent being.
Yeah.
Like glowing, right?
Yeah, glow in the dark. Yeah, glow in the dark people.
Yeah. You know that's I mean, I've thought about that as a possibility. So
Well, it would
it's
be
all,
great if we ever wanted to go and live inside the earth, right? That'd be a fantastic thing.
well, to me, it's just another way of as observing people. You know,
Yeah, or
it's
we could
not.
give ourselves sonar, you know, and do echolocation instead of actually watching things with our eyes. We could build up a fake construct in our head through sound.
Like the bats do. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Mm. And whales and dolphins.
Men, seed, and sewers. Oh, that's good, Donna. Retain your
Yeah.
seed, control the grays, or from the men, seed, and sewers, birth grays, who hate them
Oh,
well and blame them,
yeah.
hate them all deeply. Yeah, I've heard that of the forest creatures as well, Donna. Don't go spilling your seed in the forest, or you create little nymphs and stuff. Hey, Scotty boy, good to see you.
Hi, everyone in chat. Hope everyone is well. Yeah, that's it's amazing stuff. When I mean, I had to um, have to question history, and I have to wonder who made up these stories if Tartaria buildings were on the landscape. That's what I'm. I mean,
Why is there a
what is the,
capital? Why was there in the 1800s a Capitol building like the Capitol building in the U.S. in China?
yeah?
That's a pretty good question.
It is a bloody good question, isn't it?
Yeah.
Mm.
Why did Japan look like New York in the 1910s? Yeah, I don't know.
It's almost like the whole place was one, and then they just split it up and put different factions with different stories
Yeah,
out there, and none of them knew any different, right?
yeah, yeah. Back to the seed. I don't know, man. They tell us that we can't interbreed with other species, but there's a ligar, there's a donkey. Those are very similar species, but you know, in the past, we might have been able to interbreed with everything. I don't know. Seems like now we have the ability to make them merge through CRISPR and other things. You know.
Yeah, yeah, it's pretty bloody amazing. I mean, it blows me away with what they can come up with. But what I've got to, I really sort of take on board these days, Max, is not being surprised. Try not to be surprised, and definitely don't make up something about it that isn't bloody true. You know, it's best to try and talk with other people and don't get upset about anything. You know, like the biggest one is not let the bloody thing twist your mind. You know.
Yeah. So when do we get the real history, and what is it? That's Tartaria.
There's probably a
Tartaria
lot of
did exist in northern Russia. They claim it was like the Badlands, but that doesn't seem right, as some of the maps show. kingdoms and castles and
Exactly, Max. I mean, we got these bloody maps with castles all over them,
yeah.
hardly any trees, right?
And you look at it now, it looks like a wasteland, like it was all blown up or burnt, craters everywhere, you know.
Lasered, yeah. And how long has this laser operation been going?
Not sure.
Melted buildings, melted rock.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that could be Fache's use of the Faches as well. I don't know how powerful that thing is.
yeah. I know what you're saying there too. Because I mean, Roger Spear's done a lot of work, and I'm sure that many people in this world today can look at what they know and how much Roger Spear has helped to shift their reality, right?
Hmm. Yeah, geology is total hoax. Most of it, anyway. But let's go on with this for a little bit more. I put my headphones on. I like looking at the pictures of these people, the old pictures and the new ones.
And some people are probably being replaced by clones. It's hard to say, but basically, that's definitely on the menu at this stage.
Oh, definitely.
People need to protect themselves from this extermination program, and it goes beyond just prepping. It goes beyond just eating organic and filtering your water. This Death Tower phenomenon, this weaponized 5G death grid, these Trojan horses in everybody's neighborhood is basically there to take people out. At first came the 5G, then came the COVID, and this isn't a new thing.
But it is going to bother you because you're human, and I was human.
Who wants to go on Facebook after hearing a thing like that? Oh, here's Robot Biden.
Now that could be dementia.
And we've got other video suggesting that a lot of it is CGI.
Yeah, that's one effect of
is
dementia is
CGI.
strange walking.
In fact, it's not actually these people. Most of the time we're looking at digital clones. It's basically like a fiction.
Let's be honest
that never
about it.
existed. That's what the news is. That's what these people on TV are. They're artificial. Artificial people telling us what to do, telling us
I think
what
some
to
of them
eat,
could
telling
be.
us where to go, telling us to give up.
But I still
meat
think Biden's walking
and
weird was just
gasoline and
dementia.
everything like that, so that we can basically be defenseless. And that brings up another point.
Yeah, it does walk.
They're
funny.
basically fattening us up,
But I don't think it's a
dumbing
robot.
us down, and feminizing us for the kill, for the slaughter. It's coming. The worst is yet to come. And that's why people really need to prepare every which way possible
Hi, Steve.
for this
Matt,
situation. It's basically like living in a science fiction movie. There's no denying the evidence here.
he's saying,
We totally understand
fattening us up
skeptics,
for the
and
kill.
skeptics ask the right
Say that again?
questions. But this goes way
He
beyond.
says fattening us up for the kill, like we're possible meat, right? But
Yeah,
I actually kind of feel that's not really the case. That's a bit extreme, but it may be. But I kind of feel like we're being presented an end, an end to this little experiment, like an end to life. I mean, the biblical canon. It talks about end times right from the very beginning. People were getting this back in the 1800s and 1900s that the end times were coming.
I did.
And we're constantly being berated, told what to do, told how to act, and all these things. But to me, it's just like they want to get rid of this lot and start a new experiment, right?
Well, yeah, like for the internet right now, like I was saying before, we're not similar enough. So having clones would be a much better thing for data transfer and all that. So with gene editing, they're going to probably try and make us more similar to each other by putting artificial technology in us. But eventually they probably want to move right away from human beings to cloned human beings, from natural to cloned human beings.
I think that's what it is. I think that's what it is, Max.
Because you have
I
much
think
better control over the genetics, which means that you can wire it much easier. You can have much more control over it. And really, that's what they want, is more control. We're too erratic. If they could get rid of the pineal gland, that'd be awesome for them. You know, they kind of
yeah,
automatons walking around that they can abuse, and it's a sickness with them.
it is a sickness with them, and I you know, like I used to. I still rack my brain. How the hell can we get rid of them? But it's more like, you know, are they just getting rid of us and bringing back whatever they want? You know.
Yeah. Well, there's different factions that want different things too. I ask a Shogun. Some of them want new bodies. Some of them want life extension for their bodies. Some of them even want to upload themselves to the web. You know, some of them believe that that's the way to immortality. So they're all seem to be looking for immortality of some sort. You know, in some way, whether they want to do it mechanically, do it in their own body, or do it digitally. You know. And they're just pushing towards that, and they're dragging it, trying to drag us along with them, you know, to their little dystopian world.
Yeah, I'd really like to be able to say that that there is a difference between biological birth, and I think that's where reincarnation actually occurs, whereas maybe cloning is going to get rid of that, right? It's going to stop that process.
Well, there's a theory that they use the bloodlines for reincarnation. That's why they try to keep their bloodlines so pure, is so that their souls will reincarnate back into that bloodline. Kind of
Yeah, but
interesting idea.
I think that's the thing, and I think like when you reincarnate, you don't really have a choice of who you're going to end up or where you're going to end up. Maybe that's what they're up to. They're trying to make that choice so that there isn't a choice, but you actually
Direct.
choose.
Yeah, you
Yeah,
direct or choose where you're going. Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
That's you know, that's a good reason to keep a bloodline if that's what you're doing, right?
Yes, that's where I was going with that. Yeah.
Mm.
Mm.
But yeah, for these people here, I don't. These are not necessarily clones or robots or anything. They could just
Beyond
people
doppelgangers.
that
And
are
we
just
have
hooked
more.
up to the net. They've got human augmentation, human, enhancements. You know, better mind, more strength, more stamina. Those are things that are easily available, even on the market today. So
Yeah.
they have probably got better versions of those. You know, and every software upgrade, comes with little glitches.
This is just the tip of the iceberg.
Mm.
This is just
And I
some of the
think some of
stuff
these are the little
that's out
glitches,
there. We could be here
They
all
put
day
on.
talking about these examples and the implications. Here we're going to show you another shocking revelation. You're not ready for this, but here goes. Check out this video. It looks like this lady is driving through the park during some kind of upgrade. These NPCs basically have all shut down.
Check
Like
that out, eh? Everybody there just stopped. So I think that is electronic control. I don't think they're all NPCs. I don't think they're clones. I don't think they're robots.
movie iRobot receiving their upgrade.
They are receiving an
You couldn't
upgrade.
make this stuff
I
up.
do agree with that.
And it's right here on video. You might think this is a prank.
But the
You might think this
biological
is
and
some kind of
digital
thing,
convergence
other thing,
is
but
well
basically,
underway. Hi, Dragon
it
Sage.
fits
Good to
in
see you.
line with the narrative here. These NPCs aren't passing the Turing test for a reason. They're not acting human for a reason. And while you don't want to understand, you better understand. We all better understand and
Yeah.
start figuring out what's really going on here. We've been talking about the possibilities of extraterrestrial life. in some of our broadcasts. We can't rule anything out. I know it would be nice to rule things out. There's a
Right.
range of probabilities. But when you look at the stars in the sky and you think to yourself, we're all alone in this universe, I'm not sure how that sounds, really. If that sounds worse or better than what other people are saying. Maybe we do live in the Matrix, or a Matrix, a constructed reality, a snow globe, an Epcot Center, some type of holodeck. There's no telling
Could
what's
be.
really going on, but one thing is
Could
for
be.
sure.
Got to
whatever's
keep all
going on
possibilities open
is not in
because we're
line
never
with
being told the
the
truth.
official story. It's the
Exactly, Max. We've got to keep
2024.
our mind
We
open to
just landed
everything.
here on
Yeah.
this Goldilocks planet.
That way you won't be caught unaware, you know, because that
Whatever
scenario has already
this
gone
place
through your
is,
head.
Planet Earth, it looks
If you can
like
think of all possibilities,
some kind of
Yeah.
farm. We're being farmed
possibly.
and harvested.
Well, we are being energy harvested.
Some people for adrenochrome.
They
other
wire
people for big
5G
souls.
through you because it's
I think
less.
that's
It's more energy
another
efficient to
debate.
wire it through you to your
But
device.
nothing here is by chance.
I think I'm already wired to
And
my
these
device.
clones
My
and whatever else
knows
is
me
happening
pretty
on
well
TV
already,
is
Max.
part of the
Guaranteed.
enigma.
Guaranteed. You're in a
And we can just be
what do
here
they
all
call
day
it?
showing you
A
these
web or a
clones
net? A neural.
doing their thing.
You set up a web with your other
But
devices
we've
around
seen
you
the
and stuff.
videos of all the local news reports where they're basically all saying the same thing, word for word, script for script. And so this brings new definition.
I love that one,
to
the
term controlled
DeGeneres one.
opposition.
That's hilarious.
These people aren't just
What
controlled,
was
they're
that, Matt?
programmed.
I love the Ellen DeGeneres one. That was hilarious.
This looks like some kind of artificial intelligence cyborg programming. And it looks like it's been going on for quite some time. This is not something new.
That one's
Nothing
pretty
is
good. The Alec
Now we have
Baldwin.
the
Eh?
technology.
Nothing is new
and the
under the sun,
information
and I really
strategies in this
feel
company.
that.
Yeah, that one really does look like Alec Baldwin. I think that's cool.
Yeah, true.
Ears are almost exactly the same too. That's really surprising.
Yeah.
Stuff together. And that makes us all a huge threat as we wake up to our reality. And in my opinion, this is what the reset is really about. Oh, they know too much. They're catching on. It's not working anymore. We need to reset.
They're all
And so chances are we're going to see a lot worse
mandroids.
things come down the pipeline.
This one looks like a
Disease
mandroid.
and other things. Artificial climate change. All these chemicals.
Who was it? Bill Clinton that did that too. He just sat in the chair like a stone robot. You know. It's See, I think they do different things. Like I think they use robots. I think they use clones, but I don't think they do it all the same time. It's like when when we catch on to something, like we caught onto the green lasers mapping out the area in Maui, right?
Yeah.
So they built that up. Oh, look for the green lasers, guys. Look for the green lasers. There were no lasers, guys. Where are the lasers? You know what they did? They just did something different. They used fog to map out the area instead. That way we couldn't go, look at the green lasers. They're doing it again. You know, they're very good that way. They come up with different ways to trick you. And they want to catch you in something that's wrong, right? So we could say, oh, this guy, he's for sure a clone. They could go, no, he's just augmented. You guys are nuts. Or,
Yeah.
So they want to try to catch us with that stuff. So before you actually make a decision on something, try to look at all the possibilities first, and keep them open in your mind because they are getting tricky.
Trails with the death towers. It's microwaving the planet. It's driving up temperatures. They'll probably try and cook off the majority of the people off the surface of the earth, if not some kind of World War III scenario. But basically,
I think he's pretty onto it with a cook-off thing, because pretty much certain that what Roger Spur talks about, where everything was cooked in boiling mud and water.
Mm-hmm.
I feel that's a real thing,
Yeah, I do too. he claims that was happened when Venus went by, causing all kinds of problems and heat. And yeah, and I could see it. And it was boiling water that came from the depths and boiling water that came from above. So nasty shit.
But was it induced, or is it a natural thing? That's the thing, you know.
Well, when we remote view these major events, what we usually find is there are natural events that are going to happen, but some people intervene and magnify it. You know, like they do to storms and stuff.
It's like plasma, you know, like the Northern Lights. To me, though,
I don't know what they would have used to cause more damage when Venus went by, but I'm sure that, that seemed to be what happened. When the flood happened, it seemed that there was intervention to make it worse than it was, by whatever means. I don't know what I'm not even going to speculate. But for every major event, every major disaster that we look at, there are other people. Now, I don't know if they're from Earth or aliens. We don't often see aliens. Usually we see alien-looking creatures with people. So who knows? But yeah, these events, most of them not entirely manufactured, but made worse is what we see.
I've been looking at the old pole shift and trying to figure out at what stage the first record of pole shift started happening.
It goes all over the place all the time.
It does go all over the place, and
I saw one model where it broke up into about 6. It can break up into 6 or 12 independent poles and just start going all over the planet. Yeah. Now, pole shift can happen in a couple of ways. There can be just a magnetic shift that does nothing, and some people believe that the magnetic shift causes, the Earth to actually rotate and change, and we'd have floods and all kinds of cataclysms. I think both are kind of possible, but I think getting the world to go into a huge cataclysm is much more difficult. That could be the reason why they make things like CERN and these HAARP facilities, because they have a huge effect on the magnetic pole, which I don't think normally would cause just it shifting around, because it moves all over the place right now. And it hasn't changed our day or night or moved the stars or anything. So is it going to do anything? I don't know. I don't think so. But if they can magnify or amplify the effect and tell us over and over again with predictive programming, when the pole moves, we're going to have the Earth shift. Maybe they're going to do that. I don't know.
Yeah.
That seems more likely to me, is that the pole shifting around isn't really having much of an effect, because I don't see it. It went down into Russia a year ago. Now it's on its way somewhere else, and nothing has happened.
They're saying it moves about 100 kilometers a month or a year. I'm not sure.
It can move faster or it can move slower too. It's done that as well. It doesn't always move at the same rate.
Yeah. I mean, I'm trying to look into it and just figure it out. But I was just wondering whether all these facilities that are producing the electrification into the ionosphere is part of what causes a buildup of a plasma event. Now, I'm trying to figure out whether it's not only induced by HAARP, but whether HAARP facilities in the past have played a role in plasma events.
I think earthquakes they've played a role in, which kind of are plasma events, because they are using electricity for it. Send huge amounts of plasma electricity through the earth. Yeah, like in where was it? Was it Syria, where they had the line of 8 to 10 earthquakes in a row, Yeah, and I think that was them testing their little weapons.
Yeah, I kind of feel it. It's a test of some sort.
Yeah.
Somebody gave me a thing that where what you know what thing it was, but whether it could have been like gas in the earth where pockets of gas are moving, and when they move through the earth, they could shift the shape, pop from one place to another. Whether there's a little explosion going on down there, and maybe even that's how volcanoes begin, or
I don't know. Could be. That's a possibility. Just keep heating stuff up. They're good at heating stuff up, so
that's what I'm thinking. They're great at heating it up, and they're also great at cooling it down.
Yeah, they're getting good at that.
So if they can cool things down and then make a sudden heat up,
yep.
What will that cause? And I mean, these to me,
Well,
everything.
that's weather manipulation. They use pressure zones, like they can change the pressure too, so they can make an area into a high or a low pressure zone, so that you can have an inrush or an outrush of air. So, yeah, they've got many tools for weather manipulation.
They have, yeah.
All right, this guy's got another 3 minutes.
Pardon my
Let's
language.
look at some more glitches.
And so people need to prepare, and it needs to go beyond just like
I don't know if that lady's
I
glitching
got
or
food
not.
and water and filters and a power supply and some guns and ammo. We're going to be dealing with
Celebrities. Who is that? Okay, Karen, Matt, and I don't know. They look very similar.
We're going to be dealing with energy weapons. We're getting reports of deep underground bases with energy weapons that can basically irradiate the surface from underground. People aren't expecting that. And they're certainly not up to speed on how electromagnetic weapons really work. And this is a huge
We're getting there
to everyone out there, to say the least. Because these are military grade weapons, even on the cell towers, the death towers, and the like.
Yeah.
And
if somebody saw that picture to the right, they'd just say, "Oh, that's a couple of twins."
It's a start, but it's not enough to stop these weapons. You need military grade shielding. All the recipes are right there in this book, Transhuman Genocide. Not only to make a safe room, but body armor. You'll need a chest plate, a skull cap, and much more in the future.
Need to wear a bloody Faraday cage, buddy.
Book. You can read like the first 3 chapters of Amazon, Transhuman Genocide.
I don't even know if that would help.
Read it for yourself, and you'll see that this is
actually being investing in copper lately.
You want to exterminate us.
And once if they try to hit you with a terahertz bullet, I don't think there's not much shielding that they couldn't get through with that.
Even your friend Elon on Twitter is like, "Come get your brain chip. Come get assimilated. We're your friends." It's like the Borg, basically.
And I can't believe how on board everybody is with Elon and
learn
Trump
all
now.
about the scenario, what you can do to protect
amazing,
yourself,
isn't
how to
just
survive,
how they've influenced the whole bloody platform.
Yeah,
this is a
they can do no wrong. Everything they say, everybody cheers. I'm going to encourage your enslavement with data centers. Yeah.
As field There's no book.
I'm making nanotech to go in your bodies. Yeah.
Not getting this book is like cheating yourself. Not getting this book is basically like running around naked.
It's insane.
With energy weapons, just waiting for it. Don't be that victim. Don't be that guy. You'll see as soon as you build a safe room, your pets will go there and they'll stay there. Basically, they know. And you'll know. You'll feel the difference. If you've been experiencing the 5G symptoms, chronic fatigue, heart palpitations, ringing in the ears, vertigo, pain not associated with an injury. This is the big one. Sudden onset of pain, shifting pain, not associated with an injury. They're softening you up.
Logging into you.
And it's usually in the form of recurring headaches or
he doesn't know about problems. That, so
they can target
obviously
the sciatic nerve and follow you wherever you go.
But he's not
this
mentioning
stuff is beyond nasty.
I don't think he understands what the WBA
so
is.
if you're not protecting yourself, especially if you're feeling the symptoms, of this.
It is difficult to understand
then
in some
basically
ways,
it's
like to
matter.
really understand
And it's
how
the
it
same way for
works.
everybody.
It's
You're not
complicated,
alone.
you know.
We're all in this together. And
I
if
have
you're
a
listening to
small
this,
bit of a video I want
you
to play
are
on
the
that
human
so that people
resistance.
understand what we are up against.
Yeah, cool, Max.
How bad?
So yeah, that's really that's interesting. I don't know what they're doing with this. This could be cloning. I don't know. I could see it. You know, Obama looks like Akhenaten. They say, you know, and genetic material keeps for a longer time than we've.
Been led to believe, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. So, you know, are they doing this? I don't know. It would make sense that they would. They want to keep family lines and purity and, you know, all of that. And that's probably a good way to do it, you know?
All right. I'm bloody glad I've met all you guys. I tell you, Max.
Huh?
I'm bloody glad I came to YouTube and met a lot of people. It's changed my life.
Yeah,
It's changed my way of thinking and my way of accepting what's going on around me. Right?
yeah, glad of that. Thank you. Hi, Canada dummy. Yeah, that's, well, I hope since 1694 they've been singing. Nice. We should sing along with them. All right, let's get this over with because people want to understand like what situation we're in. It is kind of dark. It's harsh, but dealing with the situation is the best way to get over it and maybe change it. So let's see. Let's look at where they are right now and where they've been.
Are attached to appropriate papers. You can look them up on your own if you wish. As you can see, we've had a lot of development. Okay, 2012, 2015. Biosensors are not only made up of nanotechnology. They can be made up of your own DNA, RNA, enzymes, antibodies, nucleic acids, any type of cell you have.
So any type of cell you have, okay, is what they can use. Nanotech, sure, it's great.
We are taking your biological signals and we are turning them into digital signals that are measurable and sending them to your phone. This is intra-body area networking. In other videos, I explain in intense detail that your body is electrical and that every time you breathe, move, every time your heart beats, you are emitting biosignals. Biosignals are what they measure at the hospital with things like the EEG, the ECG, all the things you're used to and that you know because your heart is electrical. All of these biological signals are measurable. There are absolutely no maybes at all. None. It's very important that you understand this for two reasons. One, these are jobs. Okay? 18th International Conference on Bio-Inspired Systems and Signals Processing in 2025. It's the same picture. The purpose of the International Conference on Bio-Inspired Systems and Signal Processing is to bring together researchers, professionals, and practitioners from multiple areas of expertise working at the intersection of engineering, mathematics, statistics, computer science, data science, biology, physics, and medicine. Interested in developing, applying, and testing algorithmic tools, models, and techniques to solve challenging problems in biology, medicine, and sport. A diversity of signal types can be found in this area, including mechanic, thermal, electric, magnetic, electromagnetic ones, and any other biological sources of information. Since analyzing and using the different types of data related to these applications often requires cross-disciplinary expertise, skills, and collaborative efforts, this conference was created with the aim to be a high-quality forum to celebrate many of these ongoing interactions and research efforts. 18 years, professionals going to conferences to measure biosignals. Why? Because your biosignals coming off your body are used for that same intra-body networking with your Fitbit and your health apps on your phone, the same biological signals that you are using with your Fitbits and whatever other health apps or mental health apps. That is a full duplex sensing and actuating process that we also use, not just for eHealth and mHealth and all your health apps, for something called Human Activity Recognition Radar. We are watching you move. We are watching you breathe. We are keeping everything you do on a database. Period.
No matter what. No matter if you cleanse yourself.
You can use the radar of the Doppler for human suspicious activity recognition using advanced signal processing, processing your biological signals into a database tethered only to your body. How? HOW.
Hi, OB.
Intra-body communication for your nervous system.
Yes, they do.
The back end of the Internet of Medical Things, thus every single app and every single
They
piece
see
of
you when
hardware,
you're sleeping. They know when you're jacking off.
mandated by the FDA and the FCC in order for it to be safe for your use. So, this intra-body communication is not new, as I have shown you in two different ways. There is a third way. Intra-body communication is a promising wireless communication technology which provides data from the human body to the medical and sports devices we are used to wearing in our daily lives. In fact, in the last 2 decades,
it's already been done. They already do it. They just didn't have
body implants, medical devices to measure health parameters like vagal nerve stimulators, the Sensate wearable, the Apollo Neuro, and technologies for sports activities which monitor athletes' performance. So let's see how it works. The first work in the field of intra-body communication was performed by Zimmerman in 1996. For the first time, Zimmerman talked about personal area networks, a wireless communication system that allows electronic devices on and near the human body to exchange digital information through near-field electrostatic coupling. Now, I understand that a lot of you don't have any. What would that be? Well, how do you think that you were playing the Nintendo Wii? How do you think that you are able to wave your hand over a door, have it open without a plastic card or an RFID chip in your hand? When two circuits are in close proximity to each other, coupling between them is described as near field or induction field coupling. How did I?
That's interesting, and I mean that's just because it's obvious it's already happening. So,
Body Area Network, Wikipedia, where it also tells you 1996 and 1995.
There you go.
The near field communication is.
There's all the levels that are in the personal area network, like all trained on you. There's many other systems, but
or less. Whenever you hear those, it's unified.
These are the near field.
What field are you near?
The thing is, in these cities, you can't really know what fields you're being inducted with.
All of them.
Every one of them, yeah.
All of them.
Search changes, I swear, all the time. On the National Institute of Health is a regulator and mediator of biological interactions.
That's the bloody problem. All of them, all the time.
All the time, exactly.
And I usually don't go down there because it goes through a bunch of history and it says things about healing and people flip out. What I do is I take people to bioelectromagnetics as one of the key words here, with those electromagnetic fields. And I say, what is bioelectromagnetics? The study of how electric and magnetic fields interact with living organisms, of which I hope you're alive. Okay. And so what happened was the human biofield is anatomical and biomedical engineering is built around accessing this human anatomy for eHealth, mHealth, and telehealth, intelligence, surveillance, and reconnaissance for that human activity recognition radar.
Excuse me.
In the view of national security, radar
frequency soup, yeah,
space
for
recognition
an electric soup.
Activities becomes significant. Okay, and then there's your Fitbit and your Wii and your Apollo Neuro, Internet of Medical Things, and they've been very busy with
this.
Using your body. Near field electrostatic coupling is when two circuits are close to each other. Yeah, your body is electrical. It's also a circuit of resistors and capacitors, which electrical engineers know very well, especially with their Smith wheel. So what happened was they took the human biofield, which the late version of that is the human aura.
No
Most
nanotyping
people
in
think
this.
aura
None.
is religious. Perfect.
No nano.
Therefore, you're not allowed to talk about it
Not
because
needed.
it's religious. It's woo-woo.
Not
They
needed.
don't know what they're doing.
Nope.
They are so confused. When in reality, look at what you're looking at here. Toroidal fields running right through your body. Oscillation, frequency, vibration, they perturbate, meaning shake, your cell structure by shaking those toroidal fields, agitating them, decoupling
And at
your
last, but
electrical
they're
fields, your
vital
magnetic,
biocommunication and bioregulation.
the golden
Mhm.
ratio, your bioelectricity.
Regulation, that's
And
the
where-
one that really is what's happening.
Yeah.
Regulating, right?
Yeah. Control and regulation through the MAC address.
Thousands of years of human history have explained that the chakras are where your veins and arteries cross the most with your internal organs. So lots of blood flow. It's everything that chiropractic, acupressure, and acupuncture is based off of. But if you say chakra, people think you're talking religion or New Age or woo. No, that's anatomical blood flow. The valences of the biochemical
Energy and blood flow.
molecular
Yep.
communication your cells use, because your cells
Tap right in.
are electrochemical. So what they did, because nobody talks about this for almost 100 years with any authenticity or reality, they left it woo-woo and they went to work connecting you to the cloud. Biomedical engineers target with electrical, see it says biomedical signals that can be measured from the human body. It's from one of our many white papers. And if you notice, the biosensors are right over top of those chakra points, period, because it's anatomical. So they want to get the best biosignal measurements from where those chakra points are, because it has to do with blood flow, and cellular signaling, molecular communication. Then they built themselves a database of all your biosignals, and feature extraction is when they choose a series of those signals and enter them into their databases in order to process your behavior and other items that they have earmarked with your digital twin or a different type of W-band database.
Mhm.
Notice it says activity inference. Human activity recognition radar is required by law. You are ubiquitously monitored 24/7. It is constant. Okay? So, when you hear those of us on the channel talk about the fact that not only are you connected to the cloud, but due to HIPAA, you are not allowed
Yeah.
to be sniffing your
I don't know
own
that she doesn't
pathways.
like me, but
They are looking at microband, 802.15.4 derivatives that are guarded by our Department of Biosurveillance for cyber biological security. Okay. All right. Now, back to where we were. Oh, interesting. So when two circuits are in close proximity to each other, near field electrostatic coupling. And if I click on it, it's going to show you a bunch of math and magnetic field symbols and things that you're probably like, oh, Lord, that's all Greek to me. Right, because they're using visible light communication. They're using electromagnetic fields, magnetic fields, and electric fields. And most people, there's literally zero education on any of this, because that way it stays nice and quiet with the people that are doing the jobs, and everybody else is told it's religious. Apologies for the reflection. I will leave the search here so that you can take a look for yourself. And as you can see, in this particular image from 2018, past results, present trends, and future challenges in 2018 in intra-body communication. Intra-body communication is a wireless communication technology using the human body to develop body area networks for remote and ubiquitous monitoring. So the next thing you do is you look up that word. If you don't know what it means, present, appearing, or found everywhere. The internet of everything. Okay. So constant monitoring, intra-body communication uses living tissues as a transmission medium, achieving power-saving and miniaturized transceivers making communication more robust against external interference and attacks. Why would we be worried about that? Because as you can see, your body is connected to the internet. Period.
Without anything, without nano, without a device, without a phone.
People is here.
Without even a
You see
wire.
the signal, kinematic, optical, chemical, electrical, acoustic, or thermal. You see the sensor, accelerometer, gyroscope, video camera, near infrared, mass spectrometer, chemo electrical, surface electrodes, magnetometer, microphone, sonograph, thermometer, thermal camera. Okay. And then you see the human activity that is measurable with the appropriate sensor and then the appropriate signal type. Biosignals are autonomous signals produced by the living organism, energetically measurable in physical quantities using sensors. The taxonomy of biosignals resulting from human activities captured by sensors.
That's how many connections, most of them, that they have to you
No, it is not a joke.
in the personal area network.
Monitoring is mandated
Yeah.
worldwide. This is not new. This is why all these discussions with the Oracle dude and everything else are rather disingenuous. 18 years of professional conferences of doing this, not only in the hospital, but for intelligence, surveillance, and reconnaissance, which is why human activity recognition radar is so prevalent. You have passive radar, you have actuation.
That's how they're watching you there, Mr. Mission.
The sunbeam. You have the different tools they use, modeling software, you have market share, biomedical engineering, IEEE, EMBS. We've gone over this in heavy detail in other videos. Please check the Synergy Rumble channel. It's a college textbook right there. So, now I lost
Hi, AK.
set of papers here, so I need to go back to the beginning. Where did you go? Oh boy, oh boy. I'm not ready for that yet. Yeah, Google's really mad at me at the moment. Okay. So, because we lied about human anatomy for almost 100 years plus, people think it's religious. They do not understand that it is part of their
All
body.
right. I think that's
Their
enough
body,
of her.
the way they
That
walk.
was really what I wanted to get to, was people to really understand what biosensors are, that they're in you. They are you. You are connected to the web, to the cloud, by your body, not by nanotech, not by anything else, by your body.
By your own living
That's
body.
a completely other problem, but the fact is that we're already connected. So I like to get people are awfully concerned about nano, and they should be, but cleansing yourself of nano is not going to take you off the web. Okay?
Exactly. Yeah.
It's not going to happen. Shielding yourself in a Faraday cage might. I don't know if these shielding solutions they have, like making an armor suit or something, is going to be sufficient enough. If you have any exposed skin, then your ion channels are exposed, which means that they will have access.
Yeah.
So, and I can show you that they go through the ion channels of your skin with papers. I'm not going to show those today. I am going to show those at some time in a smaller video.
Okay.
But yeah, I had a couple of other things on that. So here we
I
go.
like how one time when I was on one of your lives and you said, to try and reconnect with yourself all the time by touching yourself and feeling those goosebumps and stuff.
Yeah.
I was actually just going through that when that lady was talking there, and I was just touching myself on different parts of my body, and I realized my hands and around my wrists, I have an amazing, connection. And I was just thinking, different parts of your body are not as active like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you can look at that circuit picture. It's an overlay of your anatomy, so you can understand the connections, the positive and negatives of your hands, your feet,
Yes.
the neutral parts in the middle of your body, and they're different for male and female too. Those are things that really help you. Like if you can understand your system and how it works, you can understand how to work with it better. You know, depending on what you want to do, which energies, what type of energy flow you want to put through the body, how you want it to go. It's that kind of show today, huh? Kinda. Well, we got a bunch of things on the docket today, Steve.
Oh, it's good stuff, Max. But really appreciate what you're doing, actually, because there's not many people having a go at it, and you know, it's widening our opening our eyes, widening our vision. You know,
That's my hope.
And I'm connecting with it anyway, and it's for me. You know, I've been looking into it, so it's great to hear the information and then make a decipher for myself. You know, I'm more information coming in, more deciphers. You know, just how we connect. You know, just connect with ourselves, just our own connection. Yeah.
Steve says, I was referring to how we've all been advised to practice touching ourselves. Yeah, by everybody. Now me, eh?
Yeah.
Tell you to touch yourself in schools too, which is disturbing. But you know, I think wokeism is over. They're setting a new paradigm. So, do the work needed to heal. Oh, okay, Mission Earth. Yeah, well, that's what we're here for, Donna. We're here to heal Earth, heal the human race. So I was just looking at a couple little Google searches were fun. Oxygen sensors, you know, devices that measure oxygen levels. These are nanotech that I'm looking at. IEEE has published research on a number of different types of oxygen sensors, including microparamagnetic oxygen sensors. So those are nanotech you can put in the sky. Let's go to the next one here. I wanted to highlight interbody communication because that's what you were talking about here.
Yes.
So here's Zimmerman in 1996 is based on a signal transmission through the human body called interbody communication, IBC, and it has led to the definition of body area networks. This chapter shows the main features of some of the most prevalent IBC prototypes. So I just wanted to get that out there for people to look at, so that you know, you can go to places like the IEEE and see all of these documents. Okay, so that's it for wireless today. Next up, we've got prophecy. Anyone here like prophecy? Okay.
Well,
so we have here a pastor who predicted Trump's assassination. Is also predicting the split up of the U.S. So let's go look at this. There's going to be a M10 or a magnitude 10 earthquake hitting the U.S. that will split it down the middle. Bragg's an Oklahoman pastor and self-proclaimed prophet who said he accurately predicted the assassination attempt of Donald Trump has come up with another prediction. Mr. Biggs said God had shown him a vision of a 10 magnitude earthquake, which may kill thousands of people across the U.S. According to a report in Metro, Mr. Biggs claimed the earthquake would hit the New Madrid fault line, stretching through Missouri, Arkansas, Tennessee, Kentucky, and Illinois. It was so big, there were 1,800 people who died along that stretch. All the houses on cinder block were completely shaken to the foundation. They just fell, said Mr. Briggs. The New Madrid earthquake is so big, and when it happens, the Mississippi River starts going, it goes out in another direction. Notably, in a YouTube video on March 14th, 2024, Briggs said the U.S. president would be targeted and that a bullet would fly by his ear. Okay.
that's
Saw
interesting.
Trump rising
You're
up.
talking about Mississippi. Sorry.
going
Carry on.
backwards, yeah,
I was just going to say,
because
interesting that
that's
you're talking
happened
about.
in the past during a quake.
Oh. Interesting, you're talking about an earthquake that shifts the Mississippi River from its outlet. In New Zealand here, we've got the Waikato River, which runs from Lake Taupo and goes out at Port Waikato. But interestingly enough, the Waikato River, there was an earthquake back in New Zealand's history that shifted the Waikato River's outlet from the Firth of Thames to where it is now at the Port Waikato. And that would have been a major earthquake for it to do that.
You predict Trump. Hi, beloved. Good to see you. Yeah, so I don't know. It's an interesting prophecy. It would kind of bring about Diagolon in some ways because it would split the country down the middle, which is what Diagolon was all about. That was funny. Kind of scared Justin Trudeau with that coming out during the trucker strike. Let's see. So it talks about the Trump assassination as backup. So contrary to Mr. Big's claims of a magnitude 10 or greater, cannot happen according to the U.S. Geological Study. So that can't happen, they say. A magnitude of an earthquake is related to the length of the fault on which it occurs. That is, the longer the fault, the longer the quake. Currently, no fault on Earth is long enough to generate such a megaquake. The largest earthquake ever recorded was a magnitude of 9.5 on May 22nd, 1960 in Chile. The fault is almost 1,000 miles long. Okay. While Mr. Biggs has claimed that a massive quake is around, Nostradamus' predictions suggest that 2025 may witness giant asteroid colliding with Earth or coming in dangerous proximity to the planet. Let's see, predicted some, so they go on about Nostradamus. They're claiming now that he predicted the Hitler, September 11th, and COVID-19. Similarly, Baba Vagna, another seer. Okay, so that doesn't prove his claim, but it's nice that you point those out. So yeah, a magnitude 10 going through the U.S. seems unlikely, but who knows? Because there isn't an existing fault line doesn't mean that a fault line could not extend itself.
Oh, Clint Eastwood, he's 94. Wow.
Is he? Yeah. It's amazing how these guys live so long, eh? They must eat better food.
My dad lived to 93. I don't think I'm going to make that.
You never know. You never know. So, yeah, I thought that was kind of funny. An interesting prediction. Now, I'm not, I don't know, will they cause, or is that their plan as predictive programming to use their bloody earth-shaking machines to cause a magnitude 10? If they can cause earthquakes, a bunch of them in a row, can they extend a fault line? I bet they could.
Well, I think they can, Max. I mean, the thing is, how long is it, but how deep is it as well, right?
Yeah, and how much energy do you pump into it? That's going to make a huge effect. So yeah, I think it's doable if they want it to happen. And I don't know, some of these guys I think are put out there to tell us what's going to happen, and build up our belief in seers, in predictions.
Yes.
Getting us looking at things in the wrong way, because they do try to cover all sides of everything. clear up to Canada, Great Lakes. Yeah, see, now that's one of the possibilities there, Donna. I've done shows on what they've done in fracking. I've pointed out how the U.S. and Canada, pretty much from the Great Lakes straight on down the middle of the U.S., has been fracked. And if they sent some earth shakers there, you probably could get the Great Lakes to flow straight over the middle of the U.S.
Yeah,
And
that'd
that
be
would
pretty.
probably, yeah, and that would probably wash it out into the Gulf of America now, I believe it is, right? So that would get
right.
rid of,
Along by Mexico, Gulf of America. Thank you. Yep.
right?
Yes.
But that would get rid of their problem of a lot of the Republican states. They would just kind of go into the Gulf of Mexico or America, whatever your particular bent is. So, yeah, that was something that is possible, I think. So if they expect to go along the New Madrid fault line, I believe that's also where they've been fracking. So what they do is they send high pressure chemicals down there, and it breaks up all of the shale layers into dust. So instead of being a solid piece, it becomes sand, much more movable, if you want to.
An interesting thing too, Max, here is that during the earthquake we had here in New Zealand in 2016, it happened along the coast, the east coast of the South Island, and the thing is that it was being spoken about on Facebook and other platforms where they were fracking the coastline of New Zealand for oil. And actually, one of the papers that came out on the 2016 earthquake in Christchurch was that there was sewage that came up on the coastline that they believed that was from, well, they said was from broken pipes from the sewage system of Christchurch. But it's interesting that some of the sewage that they found was nowhere near any pipelines whatsoever, and it almost appeared as if it came up through the ground. And so I was sort of looking into that, and there was another person saying that in their findings that the company that had done the fracking had used water from the sewage plants of Christchurch
Oh, jeez.
to push down into the fracking to force the oil back up to the surface.
Oh, God. That's disturbing, yeah. Because there is something else that I think they want to do with land, is they want to declare it unlivable in certain areas too, so they might do things like that. I was talking about that about a year ago, I think. I'm saying with these disasters that they're going to start claiming, oh, the land's all polluted, you can't move back. And then they can just move right in, clean up the land, somehow come up with the way to do it. Oh, we worked it out finally, and now we can do whatever we want with the land, and you're all gone. Bye-bye.
Yes. I mean, they can clean up the land. They use clays. A lot of clay is used in mopping up spills.
Yeah.
A lot of big chemical spills, they use clay. And so, like the amount of heavy minerals that clays can attach to is pretty, phenomenal.
Yeah. And they can use fungus too. Fungus loves dirt and oil and all kinds of stuff.
There's a fungus now that eats plastic, right?
Yeah. I did that in a buddy's backyard. We spilled some oil and other chemicals, so I just put a tarp over it, waited about 2 years, checked it after the first year, and you lift it up and there's mushrooms growing under there, eating up all the oil and that. And then, yeah, we left it for a couple of years, and it was all cleaned up. So mushrooms can do a great job on that.
Yeah. That's real interesting about the earthquake. I'm pretty positive that they can shift the whole terrain, you know.
Yeah.
And you know, whatever past history that anybody had on that is gone, you know.
Yeah. So yeah, I don't know if this guy's a predictive programmer, but I don't know. I think they can do. I think they could do it.
They're in the market of shifting the reality every day, so you know.
Yeah. Just want to make you guys aware of it, what they're saying, what they're trying to put out there.
You're doing a great job, mate.
I do believe this guy is controlled ops, you know, because I still believe that the Trump thing was a ceremony, not an event, not a natural event. It all lines up with a lot of biblical prophecy for people. And I think it was all planned, staged, and I really have a hard time not believing that. So this type of a thing, this guy, I think, is predictive programming. I can't say that for sure, but that's what my gut tells me.
Yeah. Good
Yeah,
stuff, Max. Thanks very much for having me up. I'm going to hop down now.
All right.
And get on with a few things. But yeah, great. Great stuff, bro. And keep up the good work. You're doing a great job, bro.
Thanks.
And
we got a couple of other items if you want to listen in the background. So
okay, I'll just listen in the background.
All right.
I'll mute my Much luck, bro.
Enjoyed your input. Always good to talk to you.
Thank you very much, Max.
All right. Yeah, so predictive programming or spiritual guru. It's up to you to decide. Large-scale nuclear training exercise to take place in Sketchnet, New York, today. Performance issue. No, I don't need that. Okay. I'll let that sink in for a minute while I light up a smudge stick here. Also, here's the invite in case anybody else wants to come up. I'm going to go for about another half hour, and that'll be the end of the show. So if anybody has anything they want to bring up, you can post a link now or come up on panel. Hi, Squirrel Samper. Good to see you. So yeah, starting today, I think it's for 3 or 4 days. Let me check the article here. This was mentioned to me by one of our viewers last night. Nuclear test to take place in New York. From January 26th to the 31st, 2025, a large-scale multi-agency nuclear incident training exercise will take place in the vicinity of some place I can't pronounce in New York. The surrounding countries of Albany, Saratoga, and Skedetchi, whatever. The training exercise will not pose any risk to the area residents. The public does not need to be alarmed by the training-related activity, including the presence of military personnel and aircraft and people in protective equipment. Good to see some of their equipment, right? The Department of Defense, Department of Energy, National Nuclear Security Administration, the Federal Bureau of Investigation, Department of Homeland Security, and state and local partners, so many people, will conduct the exercise in several areas of, we'll call it Schnedley, and Albany, Saratoga counties, as part of a series of regularly scheduled U.S. government biannual exercises. Interesting. Similar trainings have been conducted in various regions across the United States since 2012. The general areas in which the training exercise will take place, including areas around Albany Airport to Stratton National Guard Base to northern Saratoga County. Several local and state law enforcement, fire, emergency management, and public health agencies will also be participating in the training, including the New York State Police, Albany, Saratoga County Sheriff's Office, and the Albany Police Department. Exercise participants will conduct operations in personal protective equipment to simulate realistic conditions. It will also include aircraft from federal, state, and local law enforcement agencies. The exercise is an opportunity to participate for participating entities to practice and enhance operation readiness to respond in the event of nuclear incident in the United States or overseas. Due to the sensitive nature of the capabilities being implemented, which is what we should concern ourselves with, the training activities are not open to the public or media. What do they do during these tests, really? Will it include drones this time? I don't know. A while ago, there was threats from outside the U.S. Of course, they were U.S. ops, talking or leaking possibilities of New York getting hit with a nuclear weapon, a dirty bomb, or something like that. Is this again predictive programming? They say they're regular tests, so I don't know if I see anything too nefarious about that. But with these tests, they're always going to use large-scale tests like this to test some of their new systems. So are you going to see drones with sensors, fogs, lasers? Are you going to be seeing something different? One of the things they haven't, and I think that this might happen, is you might see lights doing interesting things. There's a medium they haven't. They've worked with lasers, fog, clouds. They haven't worked one of these management systems with lights. Light is the next generation that they're working with because it goes down to the cellular level, down to light level. So, yeah, since 2012, since 2012, yeah. It's an interesting date, eh? The new street lights are black lights. They're all NPCs. Hi, Nina. How you doing? Yeah, I would think not myself too, Nina. But I think they are going to test their systems. I think we'll see drones. I think you're going to see drones being used in this test. I think that's going to be what they're doing for this. And I don't think it's a big thing. So I'm not too worried about this at the moment anyway. Yeah, they're filtered to be white light made as black lights. Interesting. You are a demon-possessed being. Oh, I hope not. Here's a link if you want to come up, Nina. It's very quiet on the panel today. Yeah, apparently in some cultures there's 365 demons, one for each day of the year. Which one do you have? You know? Well, that's not a very loving thing there, Donna. Hi, Dina. How you doing?
I'm doing good. How are you doing?
Good.
What have we got in the chat here? Somebody's worried about demons or
Uh,
something?
yeah, I think they're saying that beloved abstract's demon possessed.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Cool.
I delete the demon, the possessed. Okay. Yeah, help him get his demons out of him. You know.
Yeah. We all fight them on the
Yeah.
daily, I'm sure. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I consider demons little thought forms. You know, come back to
Well,
haunt
yeah.
me every once in a while. You know.
Yeah.
There might be entities that are demons outside, but I don't like to give them that kind of power by calling them a demon. They're just negative entities. You know?
Well, that's the thing. And I think they're literally were demonized. You
Yeah.
know, certain beings were literally demonized by Yahweh, I guess, who wants to be the
Yeah.
only one, right?
You tell me.
So everybody else is a demon. And when you look at the word Satan, it actually means the adversary. And so we all have Satans in our lives. And, you know, so.
Yeah. Little devils following us around, you know.
Yeah.
Or triggers. Those triggers are demons. People that get triggered by things, those could be, in my mind, considered a little demon, you know, sitting on your shoulder waiting, you know.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So they come in different levels, you know. Are they conscious? I don't know. People believe that egregores or thought forms that societies create are conscious.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Well, that's the thing, like say the being Satan or Jesus or any of these, you know, if they, you know, we could debate whether or not they existed, but, you know, it's kind of irrelevant because they are a being now. We've created them now.
Yeah, almost anything you think of.
You know what I mean? Like you said, an egregore. I mean, if that many people are believing in it, and whether it's good or bad, right?
Yeah.
Praying to it or fearing it, whatever, you know what I mean? That much energy into something, yeah, it's a thing now, for sure. So, yeah. Anyways, I'm sure that's not what the show was all about.
No, it's about a bunch of different things, but that's a interesting tangent. I like discussing demons and spirits and stuff.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's a lot of misconception there. Unfortunately, with the religions came a lot of gaslighting and that we like to call it now. So,
like using my third eye, I see different levels of energies out there. There are energies that come from like planets and the earth, and there are energies that come from entities, and they're everywhere. Some of them are positive, some of them are negative, some of them just don't do anything, you know. But they're everywhere.
They're like a lot like humans, you know. Some are good, some are bad.
Yeah.
Same.
You know, the only thing to worry about them is if you fall for their tricks, you know. Like when you're viewing them, some of the negative ones, they'll try to present as scary because that's going to get a reaction out of you. And that reaction is an emotion they can play with, or they start to play with, right? So, you know.
Yeah, this is why you got to be careful with the Ouija boards and all that, because you're basically just opening up the door for any willy-nilly kind of spirit to come in. And yeah, you don't know.
But they need your participation in it, you know?
Yeah, so when you're playing with the Ouija, you are inviting them in, and you know, and you're just sitting there. Most of the time, you know, there's no intention behind what they're doing or, you know, calling for anything. It's just whatever spirit happens to be there, you know. So, yeah, you might come across a trickster. There's a lot of tricksters, and they love to. Oh yeah, so that's why you got to be careful with those kind of things. You know, you can come across something that would be considered negative or not in your best interest, you know. So that would be just like going down to the hood, you know. Or are you just going to trust the first person you meet down there? You know what I mean? Like,
right,
the man, you know.
Yeah. Good point.
So, yeah.
Yeah. So. Yeah, you don't think that anything's going to happen with this nuclear test, do you?
Well, I just, you know, it's,
I
now that Trump's back in the news, you know, we can't help read up on stuff. And I guess Barron is attending business school in New York. So he's back in New York. And there's no way, you know, they're going to let something happen to the golden boy. I don't know. Unless Trump is that much out of the loop. You know, that it remains. If something happens to them like that, then, okay, well, maybe he's not as much in the loop as we thought he was. You know what I mean?
or the game has gotten much
He's
more
changed.
intense. Yeah, because
Yeah.
they're supposed to play good with each other, right? So
Right, because he's part of it big time.
Yeah.
I mean, you saw that at the funeral, and they're literally laughing it up and rubbing elbows.
oh
And,
yeah,
you know, it's all just a show, you know, and people don't understand that until they literally see it. And even when they see it,
yeah.
they don't believe it. They just, you know, it's,
I love everybody cheering for Trump dragging you to the New World Order and biodigital convergence. Like he's dragging people towards that, and they're all cheering.
yeah, then he just uses different words for it. You see, like
Yeah.
Freedom City and stuff like that. And people, yeah, I mean, anything freedom now, that's, you know,
They're just
or
eating it up.
woke, or maybe not the woke thing, but that was, I guess, last year. What am I thinking of here? Oh, MAGA. You know, anything, if it's MAGA, hey, you know, if
Yeah,
you say it's MAGA, you know, then it's all good, right? So they don't, yeah, it's kind of like Germany all over again, you know. It's happening, and everybody's just, hey, you know, because that's what happened in Germany.
right. Let's do it.
Everybody loved him. You know, he was
It's
man of the year.
what our party wants, so let's do it. Yay.
You know, everybody, yeah, no, everybody agreed. Like everybody was
Yeah.
one of those N words back in those days, right? But oh no, we don't talk about that now.
Yeah.
We don't talk about that anymore because that's, you know, gaslit, that whole thing. But that's kind of what's happening now, where he's, you know, Trump is the same kind of guy. He's got the same energy, you know. And so
And they're preening the royal family for you guys. Maybe your elections are over. Maybe Trump, little slip of the tongue there. You'll only have to vote this time, Christians, and you won't have to vote again. You know, maybe he will set up his little
well,
thief.
yeah, I did hear something somewhere yesterday that he's changing because, you know, they can just go and change things like this whole pardon thing. You know, you can pardon your whole freaking family before they've even done anything, before they've even looked into it. Like, what the hell? And so I heard Trump is changing something too, so that he's able to get away with that. You know, and so this isn't fair. Like, we've not been told the rules of this game. Obviously, they're changing by the day. You know, like, you know, like the
what are these
whole
blanket pardons? Not, you know, I pardon you of blanket. You know,
yeah, no, anything you've done from this point forward, like, is pardoned if they find out later. Yeah, just in case.
That's
Kind
ridiculous.
of thing.
Yeah, I don't know if that's going to hold up.
Fauci got away with murder.
Yeah, people are challenging that, so I don't know if it's going to hold up, but we'll see. I think it might. You know.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I mean, you know, that will really show you too. You know how much.
Well, Greta Thunberg is on trial for pump and dumping her crypto coin, but Trump isn't.
Oh, is she? Well, have you seen Trump and Melania also have a new bullshit coin?
Oh yeah. I talked about that when they came out. Yeah. I watched the market. Millions. He went up to 72 billion, and then he took out 35 billion.
Wow.
So he still has a controlling factor.
All your guys' money.
Yeah.
You just gave it to him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He had 80% of the stock, so everything he took out was pure profit.
Wow.
Yeah.
I know. Unbelievable. Yeah.
Now Melania's doing the same thing. He rose to around 30 billion.
It makes you wonder. We've talked about this on my channel. Like, I think we just talked about it actually on the replay. I just listened to the replay on Milky yesterday about time travel, you know. It makes you wonder if he, you know, because, you know, his uncle is the one that took all that paperwork from Tesla, right? So you know that the Trump family has information. And, you know, what are the odds that maybe they know how to time travel and that's what he's done? I mean, when you look at all these things, right? This, you know, Trump Avenue, the Barron book, there's a lot of sort of evidence for it. You know?
Most of it, you know, could Trump have read that book in the past? I would say he probably could have.
You know, it makes you wonder, right?
Yeah.
So
this is Trump Patton. People believe that Trump looks like Patton.
Oh yeah.
You can kind of see it, but
yeah. Well, I mean, there's only so many looks in a Caucasian. So I mean, we're all sort of related somehow. You know, somewhere deep down. You know, I'm sure.
Last night I saw somebody had overlaid Hitler's mustache and hairdo on Alex Jones. And he looked like Hitler. Yeah. It's amazing how many other people that they did that to that also kind of look
Yeah.
like Hitler, you know?
Yeah. Oh, I'm sure. Yeah. Yeah.
You know. So yeah, a lot of us look like other people from the past, you know.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, there is only so many looks. And so, no
Yeah.
matter what comes out, it's going to be, yeah. It's going to be interesting to see how they move forward with that, because the plan is to no longer just procreate by chance, which I can kind of get it. There's a lot of people that shouldn't be parents out there and a lot of duds, frankly, you know what I mean? So, if
Well,
we're
then you
going to
think-
reduce, we might as well make sure that whoever's here are going to be of good stock, like healthy. Can you imagine getting rid of all disease but yeah, it would be interesting to see what their perfect little specimen would look like.
Yeah, yeah. In
Yeah.
Germany, they had the Ubermenschen, the blonde-haired, blue-eyed God man. You know.
Yeah, that was it not taken from some alien race then? The Aryan race or something like that?
Some people think that. Yeah. Yeah.
That's
Or-
my understanding. Yeah, that's where they got
yeah,
it
the
from.
the Nordics. You know.
Right. Yeah.
That are aliens. They could be a splinter civilization, or could be an alien race, possibly. You know. Either's possible.
Yeah, who knows? I don't know. Yeah.
But
I've
eugenics gets scary after a time, because Bill Gates is a eugenicist. His father was a eugenicist. He ran the eugenics department of the U.S. government for years, where they were working on that. And that gets into people's rights, right? Do you have the right to stop people from procreating? You know?
Well, that's kind of, I guess, yeah, they would have to completely dismantle society as we know it in order to be able to get away with this.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why
They do like they're doing now. They try to kill people off slowly and
so I'm
overt.
thinking, with the numbers on the Deagle report and whatever, there's going to have to be something big, and it's probably multiple of big things.
Yeah.
Right now, apparently we have like a real cold snap, and like it's like snowing in Florida and shit, and like weird stuff, right, with the weather. So they're really amping up with that whole weather modification tools that they got. And so there's going to be, people going from that, but they'll probably go a little further than that and have some more, natural disasters, shall we say, happening in various places. That would take care of maybe a lot. And then, this bird flu seems to be ramping up.
Mm-hmm.
Ramping up, and yet they're not really doing anything about it. So, I mean, the smart thing would be to actually release something that is actually very deadly, which apparently it is a 50% mortality rate, and that's pretty freaking high.
That's pretty high.
With this one here, and that would definitely take care of a lot. It actually would take care of all the elderly, all the weak, that kind of thing, because that's kind of what they want, right?
Yeah, they could drop some toxins on us and then electrify.
Yeah, well, they're doing that too. But that's a slow death,
Well, they have different toxins they can use. Most of what they're using now is for sensing.
Well, that's true. They could do a real quick one. Yeah, just drop something on you, and everybody's drops just like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do a Montauk type thing.
Well, to be honest with you, I don't know if you saw this episode, but this was a long time ago, or like 9 months ago, when I first started my channel here. I took it off of YouTube, and it's only available up on Rumble. But we watched this rabbi was being interviewed by one of the Rothschilds. She's got a channel, very small. Mm-hmm. It's only kind of meant for her friends and family type of thing, you can tell. But anyways, we listened to it. And so she's asking about, the end time here, because they believe that they're going to exterminate us all, right? Whoever's not part of their club is, no good. So, so apparently it's going to happen in 12 minutes. But didn't say exactly what it was. So I don't know what could that could be dropped on something, I guess. And then within 12 minutes, we all go. Or it could be, a war, nuke or something like that. I don't know. Yeah. That doesn't seem, I don't know. It just doesn't seem logical, because kind of destroying the whole area. You won't even be able to go to that area for like 200 or 300 years.
Well, look
You
at
know?
Nagasaki and Hiroshima. There's people living there now.
Well, that's true. So that's the question about whether or not that whole nuke thing is even real.
Yeah.
A lot of people are saying that it's not.
Yeah, is it
That
what
we
it
don't
is?
even
what
have
they
the
say.
capability of that. So I don't know. So that's the thing. It could be a psyop. Wouldn't be surprised if it was. Good one. I fell for it. You know? You know what I mean? Like, oh yeah, like unbelievable all the stuff that we've fallen for over the years, right? And a lot of it's from Fauci. A lot of it. That guy, if you go back and look and see what, oh
Careful
my
what
God.
you say. I have to avoid certain.
Yeah. I'm not going to
Okay.
mention, no, you guys can go and Google him and see.
Yeah.
But he goes way back, the 80s and stuff. So,
Yeah.
yeah. And just, yeah.
Oh, what a burn. This guy got burned. He got 72 computer geeks instead of the 72 virgins he wanted.
Well, those are the virgins. So
Those are
there you
virgins.
go.
There you go.
Yeah.
Oh, that would be such a bummer,
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
horrible. Yeah, so we just got to be prepared for these things. I think we're calling them out fast enough that they're not going to be able to get away with it, you know.
Well, if the numbers are like the Deagle report,
I know the
we're
Deagle
all gonna
reports
be gone
are
anyways.
huge.
We're all
That's
gonna be gone.
2/3, right? A drop
Yeah,
of 2/3 of the
all our
population.
shows here that we're doing, all of this will be gone. There'll be none of it left for the new generation to find out. Just like they've done book burning before, this will be the new book burning.
Oh yeah.
Digitally now. I've noticed they're already scrubbing out the internet. I can't
Yeah,
find
well,
stuff that I used to find.
People will
Yeah.
have to start finding relics and stuff, and will be considered relics, eh? We'll have the old.
Yeah,
knowledge
they
of
won't
the
know what it
relics.
is though,
Right.
or what's that?
I said we'll have all the old knowledge if we survive, what the world was like before.
Yeah, well, if we get that before we go, I don't know. That's all hidden, right? So we'll see. I
Well,
don't
what
know.
we know, the stories we've been told.
Mm-hmm.
Steve's a relic already. Right on, Steve. That means you're valuable, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. It's gonna be interesting. Interesting to see what happens here.
Yeah. Well, they still have a ways to go. We have defenses. We have pilo erection to stop them from logging into us, grounding to stop some of the negative effects. People are making armor suits. I don't know how effective they are or whether it's worth trying, but it might be. It might be useful for if we decide to go and take the systems down. If somebody's like running at a cell tower, it'd be good to have some armor of some sort for their active denial systems. The Trident is a weapon and was used. Yeah, I believe all the old technology, the gods had technology. Yeah.
Yeah, my prediction is that they're going to find the Ark of the Covenant.
Oh, awesome! That'll be fun.
Yeah, and there might be some kind of technology in there. I mean, according to the Bible, if you even touch the thing,
well, this is the year of exposure. So just before you take all the information away, you might as well tell everyone, right?
Yeah, well, they're going to have to do something like that in order to usher in the one world religion. You see. So they're gonna, inside of that Ark of the Covenant is going to be the original Torah, the original Jewish scripture or whatever.
Oh, nice! They're going to rewrite that. I wonder if they got AI to do it. That's what Noah writes.
Well, the plan. Yeah, well, the plan is to merge the Jews with the Muslims. So I'm assuming that they're going to find this book. It's going to explain in there that Muhammad was the deal.
Right on.
And then that will take care of all the other religions. They'll just have to go to the wayside. And this is how it is now.
That'll just be the truth there. Yeah, I get it.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
And they've already their plan is going, just as planned, because most of Europe now is completely inundated with Muslims. There's way more Muslims.
What they're planning for the Temple Mount there. they're planning just to build the temple right beside the mosque.
Yeah. The mosque is going to stay. That's
Yeah.
right.
That's
Yeah.
right.
Yeah, because they're merging. The Muslims and the Jews are merging together. And so, they're all ready to go with that temple too. There's just a couple more things that are going to happen. And
they've got all the pieces. They've had the blocks and everything for years.
Yeah, they got the heifers are even there. They even bred the heifers. They're there, but they're expiring soon though. Because I did a show on that a while back, and they only had a couple more years, and then they're too old. You see, so then they're gonna have to make new. But I'm sure they probably are in the lab, right? I'm sure they always got a ample supply of heifers there. But the thing is, yes, but it has to be a certain criteria. So it's not that often you see that you get them perfect. They have to even one different hair disqualified. So there's certain rules. I did a show on that as well.
Yeah.
About the heifers. I haven't seen anything mentioned, so I'm assuming they haven't been burnt, or if they did, then it was done in secret.
Well, I think they keep breeding more. Like they're constantly.
Yeah, you would think so.
Because they do practice, right? So they get the heifers and they do a practice.
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah, because there's so many that don't make it to be, the perfect thing, and it has to be a certain age and all of this. So, they'll have to keep, at it, and hopefully have one at all times.
Mm-hmm.
That would qualify. But but I'm just thinking, like, the burnt ashes, but that doesn't have to be done right before the thing, I would think. Couldn't they just burn those now and have the ashes ready to go? Or I don't know how that all works. But
I don't know how it all works either, I suppose they'd have to do it new, probably.
Maybe.
To have the whole ceremony on the right time and all that.
Yeah, I guess, there's got to be obviously something to it, right? Yeah.
Okay. Strategic incentives for climate geoengineering coalitions to exclude board participation. Okay. Yeah, so that takes it out of the public purview more. Less involvement with the public. That's good. More private, for the government.
Yeah, well, they don't want us to see what they're doing. Right?
No.
So, no.
All right. Well, I think that's all we've got for today. I thank you for coming up, Nina. Thanks for coming up.
Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, this was a lot of fun.
I'll be going live in about 4 hours. If you guys wanna...
What are you doing? Are you doing Astana?
We're doing, no, we did that last week.
Oh, okay.
Mind you, I forgot all about the Astana. So I did the show, but I forgot about the Astana to mention about that. So I'll have to do another show.
Their recluse little hideout they got there.
I totally forgot. We just got into all those other things. But that was last week. No, we're doing episode 8 of the Anunnaki story tonight.
Okay, awesome.
Yeah.
All right. Look for do you want to post your link in chat there? That'll be fine.
Yeah, I don't have it, to be honest, right in front of me right now. I just restarted my computer. So.
Oh, okay. So everyone look up Nina and
just click on my channel here.
Yeah.
Hey, I'll put hey in here.
Everybody's
click on there, go there, subscribe,
Yeah.
and then you'll see it. It's scheduled there.
All right. Much love to you all. Until next time, keep your third eye open. Use your intelligence and your intuition. Bye-bye.